The troops angling their way at the back of the site. Post plant comes in with all 10 players. They are very slow on the approach. They need to start picking up pace. They have a kit, but only one of them, and the flash is completely mitigated by the fact that they've just lost 2 players now, VP. qikert goes in for 1, Exile and interz both just ripping through heads, and there's Shiro. Talk about Gambit getting it cleanly done. I feared the worst for them, Potter. I thought they took too much time.
You and me, T-Con, quick onto the sandwich. This is where YEKINDAR shines. Oh, and he just gets caught out. Axel so aggressive.
Mentality that VP have. They have managed to wiggle their way into the site, but they've not dealt with a lot of these corners, and Hobbit is going to punish them. His 7th kill, add an 8th into the mix as well, and he's still alive, still able to put some bullets into heads. Buster's life deemed forfeit by nafany and his Galil. And now just the AWP remains on Jame, but he's been forced away 1 versus 5. And Gambit will know that he was last spotted in box halls. There will be no survivors. And the fact for how good Gambit are in their rifles, by the way. Only 1 out of 8 pistols won in the duration of the tournament. And yet they're still in the semi-finals. They're still taking heads. YEKINDAR, though, at least comes...
Oh, what a shot coming out from YEKINDAR. I don't think he spotted Jame. This round is everywhere.
Oh no, but James not really capitalized, and his teammates have died on B, which means the bomb is down, and with 13 seconds, his options are save or potentially die after time. Neither of them ideal situations, considering he's looking at a 5-0 deficit, but it will be the save. And the fact of the matter is, he's got 14 ADR to his name, 0 kills, 0 assists. Could become one-dimensional though, Potter, if main gets shut down with a player up close in the form of Exile, already drilling into the head of YEKINDAR. That could be the case. At least qikert comes out swinging, but the Ivy contingent has met a sticky end. As Hobbit puts the final nail in the coffin, they now know where qikert is, needs to traipse over to the other side of outside to try and pick up the bomb, but he actually fakes that transitional play, hoping to catch one of Gambit off guard as they try and make a move.
Definitely heard that reload.
No, he's down anyway. nafany just goes for the white effect over on the B side of the map. Correct me if I'm wrong here as well, Potter, but I believe this was Gambit's choice of map. So VP elected to go T side.
And once again, every single VP member is very spread apart. SANJI finally finds some success. This should start applying the pressure, but that re-aggression from interz, he absolutely gets punished for it. And now VP have the advantages for the first time in this first half. Again, no flashbangs. Hobbit, perfect line of sight down lower, gets to pick off. That equalizes things, and SANJI also falls.
Oh, Shiro has such a good position as well. He can at least shut down. No, he misses the shot. That is a gimme shot as well, and it's going to punish them.
First kill, but a second one to follow as well. Flashes this time coming in from VP. Hobbit is so blind, but he's in a really sneaky spot.
Typically, angles that you flash over or get mollies onto, so he was just afforded the luxury of sitting there and waiting. 18 seconds, they need entries, they need them right now. And although Shiro has gone down, he's wasted a lot of time. They have to take one of these 2 players over to pick up the bomb and potentially go for the plant, but SANJI is shut down in the back. That's the bomb that goes with him. And Buster is not long after. 8.
Oh, fast stuff. Out T-Con already. Defenders are blind. That's a good pickup coming out from qikert. He's good for 2. Actually, it's Buster that's going to pick it up. And this is fast-paced. VP already taking out the outside yard.
Precisely the kind of plays that we need to see them throw in. Just get Gambit out of their comfort zone. Force them to play a bit more aggressive in return, but so choose. But Hobbit in an off angle. These are the kind of angles that you may not check with the AWP. But in comes SANJI with the MAC-10. He's putting them down outside. And with the bomb, we'll be getting the full plant. Neither of the 2 CTs in a position to fend him off. With interz being low, even at this range, the MAC-10 could finalize onto him, but interz will not miss his chance.
Gambit, even I thought that was surely the round where VP, that flashbang catching Shiro so late, I thought that was it.
The box halls because right now, they're still keeping 3 players over there. The flashbang comes down. It's a good frag from SANJI. And now he can try and wrap all the way around the back of Gambit, but he gets taken down in transition from Shiro. Now it comes down to Hobbit again. The spray's not quite on point. Finally gets it on the second time of asking, but it's actually Shiro that now comes back in on connector. Hobbit just needs to stay alive. He does have an incendiary, which he could maybe toss towards the back of the site and draw away one of these players. This tries to wide peek instead. The utility's now coming down. YEKINDAR gets sprayed down from Hobbit, and it all comes down to Jame. He has no molly and no life remaining. Gambit with another successful retake.
Dude, Hobbit is an animal. I love the way T-Con area. Maui spoke about it. YEKINDAR's got a lot of responsibility on his shoulders as far as drawing that contact. And man, he's doing the work, but he's getting owned right now. qikert does respond though. 4 versus 4, and Buster just lurking in this T-Con still.
Important kill. Does give them the player advantage. But it does feel like each of Gambit's members has been worth 3 of VPs throughout the duration of this map. But this time, SANJI, with the lightning fast entry, is much more like it. interz may repel him, may not anticipate a second player in here. Flashbang comes out. interz stands his ground, does damage, and actually frags Jame. That's got to go the way of VP.
Jame is going to want to replay that one in his head. At least qikert does find Hobbit, and they know exactly where interz is. And James knows he messed them up. That communication should have come through. interz picking up that AWP, but the sound cue, Buster was ready for it. He lost that duel.
Same. I'm sure he couldn't either. YEKINDAR's going to burn alive. It's a HE through the smoke.
Trying to draw out some sort of contact, and they do just that. The flashbang is beautiful. Jame is so blind, and Gambit in full control once again.
Utterly outplayed at every single turn. SANJI about to get peak long range with a Galil. Stands his ground for the frag, but he picked T side. I think it's safe to say that may have been a little bit of a blunder in hindsight. End with 4. That would give them a bit of a glimmer of hope, but interz, playing intelligently, doesn't want to overextend, knows that time is working against VP, knows they have to pressure out, they have to get these entries, and it's all Exile. 4 kills to him. This, Potter, they are in dire need of some success. They need entries, and will they find any? They're being obliterated by Exile again, who moves on to 21 frags with well over 100. He thought Buster was about to lose his head. Tagged down to 79, but information, and when you have Buster outside like this, you know it's going to be an A hit. Nice counteractive kill from Jame. 20 seconds. interz on the approach, getting 1. That could be it. Jame, very little opportunity to play any mind games. He has to stick the side. He has to just hope for the best. Gets the full plant off, and they do peek him 1 by 1. But Shiro too fast with the 5-7, and Gambit just way too good. 13-2 off the back of the first half, and honestly...
Oh, well, hold your breath, Vince. It starts with this pistol. Out of everything, YEKINDAR. SANJI's there with 3 kills at least.
It's connected. Hobbit now making moves. Just over a minute left. And they have control over the bomb, but Hobbit's teammate's gone down, and qikert goes in for seconds. Then was up with a Molotov out in his hands. We'll be tossing that towards the ramp as soon as the call comes through. First pick is good. Now qikert can throw down the Molotov. He goes in for the spray. It's good for 1. And Shiro has been battered by the Molotov. He's down to 28 HP. Exile is nowhere to be seen either. He's miles away from the rest of his squad. And he's walking into the arms of YEKINDAR, who puts him down with the AUG. It may be a post-plant. Shiro should be able to survive. At least that will keep their economy going forward, but the chances of clutching are so low. And VP will be successful with the defuse.
Strong stuff, YEKINDAR. Game sense. Good rotations. Keeping pretty well thought out. That's a good amount of damage onto Exile. And a kill, in fact. But SANJI just gets double peek. That would have made things really interesting. YEKINDAR's got a good line of sight here. Tapping away. He does find the 1. Finds the 2, but he gets scouted out. Oh,
His shot could get punished. Goes back in with the P250. And Hobbit, taking a different angles, put him down. This could be such an important moment in the map, with Gambit potentially taking a 14. Ivy has no one present. He's found out nothing so far, and now he's been tagged on the approach and finished off by Hobbit. I can't...
respectively in their areas, but Gambit just did enough.
Step closer to the grand finals again, and let's be honest, I don't want to take anything away or disrespect Store. They played some really good Counter-Strike.
Double up into this T-Con area. Jame and Buster's got to be real careful here. They don't have a rifler to help them. They got to make these shots count. Buster's got a good vision here, and Jame is just popping off in the back lines. He does get taken out by interz, but now it's a 2 versus 1 scenario. Interz so low. Oh, Buster. Oh, he had the read. I thought he was going to hit that shot. That would have been so sick. The communication coming through. Buster knows he's low. Wants to pistol out and finish out interz. There it is. So round secured. Once
puts them in the lead. That puts them in the 1-0 map victory. Kikert's been flashed. Still holds his nerve for one, but then traded out. Jame, big impact with the AWP. We're finally starting to see some of those power plays come into effect, but then he gets countered by Hobbit. Long range with the AK. Post plant could be coming up. M4 is good enough to suppress Hobbit on his endeavors. Back out again, maybe getting a little bit too confident. Getting a bit too antsy. But Axile chipping away the head of Buster. interz waiting patiently for the connect to push, and just turns around to see Axile have his back covered. YEKINDAR's MP9 is all that stands between Gambit and the 15th round. And although he's healthy, so are Gambit. He has no kits. He's trying to bypass this first player. May have the jump on him, but Axile again body with Kevlar. Flashbang up and over. Affords Buster the chance and the success with the deagle. So he'll, knowing that Hobbit was last seen just outside of main, and now the smoke will be clearing. But with that cleared smoke, Jame is found and he is put out of his misery.
Buster gets a second kill into this round. That's a good dink coming out from qikert. They will be funneling down this low ramp. Buster lining him up, almost as good for the 2, but SANJI, he is on the flank and he gets taken out as well. That's going to be it.
See if that can continue. As now on the CT side, they're looking to repel the push, but it's Hobbit and nafany straight in with the Glock headshots, giving no reprieve, no chance at VP to muster up a comeback. Early doors, SANJI trying to thread some bullets between the smoke, but the bomb's already been planted down. They're using that bomb site now as a bit of cover, a bit of a shield. 3 flashes still intact for VP. First has just been tossed out. The detonation on top of the site doesn't really affect that many of the T's. The second one much better, faring for the frag. But now they only have 1 flash to go, and they've only taken and carved the path through one of the T's. They're now sticking on the site. They're hoping to try and bodyguard this one down, but the bomb has been denied. Buster spinning around on the swivel, nearly gets it done. It was so momentarily, but they haven't fully committed to it just yet. Now they're starting to fall into position. Hobbit gets the first. Already up to so many frags. I think he's up to 7. A similar start to how we saw Trainfest. SANJI threading through the smoke for the headshot. But now he will go down. And that leaves Buster and qikert. They can at least pick up the AWP. But can qikert realistically do anything with this? Takes the speculative.
Beautiful stuff. And Gambit just kind of straight to the point. Getting into that A bomb site. Getting the bomb. Jame just asked SANJI to shoot for him so that he could scope, and he's actually able to find the kill in nafany from it. Good communications.
Gambit have got to start to move in. Unless they want to just save these guns, they've got to now press. And Buster, first player up, does hold his nerve, hold his ground. I'm not really sure what the idea was from Gambit. Seems like they put way too many chips on that potential B hit, which never really came to fruition, so they'll hold on to their weapon.
To get more rounds on the board, but qikert, he's facing. He's got YEKINDAR. These 2 in tandem are... Oh, YEKINDAR a little bit labored, but he is good for it. He's getting spammed down low in the smoke.
Be hit. If they all get quelled, they can still come back with a purchase. Buster, same position he was in last round. This time, though, he has Jame on the overwatch with the AWP. Good flashbang. Shiro's a dead man. Much better from VP. Wind dry to kick things off. No one still looking over to the sandbags. Now HEs are being tossed in. YEKINDAR has the ability to try and stand tall, but he gets smacked through the smoke. And it's Hobbit that takes him up the equation. Jame now about to show his hand with the AWP up on the back room. There's such well-placed smokes that have been put in play from both teams that he can't see anything. And in his post plant, it's kicked off well for Gambit as they string together 2 consecutive frags. That forces away Buster and Jame. They can't potentially take it
so fast. VP didn't even have a chance to react. There was no help that came YEKINDAR's way because
just basically got pounded through the smokes without really having any chance to do anything in return. And they're continually doing the same thing.
Gambit are down a man. They've shown that their thoroughness towards this A, when the execute happens, it works out for them. There's the first kill. Jame under a lot of pressure. SANJI even goes down and Jame can't even shoot his gun. Right then, Gambit just brute force their way in. Numbers advantage, kicker. Then the silence. Just let Gambit push forward, inch their way forward, and just pout. Buster will find one, and he will be able to save this gun. But once again, Gambit, solid A take.
VP just seems so out of sorts as well, though, Potter. Like you saw from...
You know exactly what he can provide, but you're right. The fact that he's not looking confident, he's not holding the angles. YEKINDAR, he's good for it. He does find the one. That's a good start. Jame holding a different angle for himself, and there we go. A little bit more straightforward for him. 2-man advantage now for VP.
Much better showing what VP have up their sleeve. They have boosted.
Oh, just gonna save.
Time to save. Have some.
Them. SANJI's gonna try his hand though. Once again, VP were able to dominate thanks to YEKINDAR last round. And again, YEKINDAR starts things off and the trades are coming in fast.
They need an entry from one of these two to crack open the site. Maybe behind the entry they can make this a bit of an interesting affair, but SANJI through the smoke into the head just as we were trying to give them a bit of glimmer of hope. It's been dashed against the rocks, and Shiro, you're spot on. He's had very little impact with the AWP. He's not really had any chances, to be honest. Most of their set plays have been...
2 rounds now. And Gambit, more passive this time. They're not just going to face right off the bat. Except for nafany.
And he meets a pretty sticky demise. They will be going for aggression over on B again. This time Buster has been dealt with quickly. Grenaded out. Jame can bypass that Molotov, but it will cost him a lot of HP. And SANJI, the hero of the last round, is still alive and still putting damage through the smoke. Jame using the narrowest of margins to allow him the luxury of the frag. And VP just back away so they can throw in that volley of grenades towards the site. Hobbit gets caught in transition. It's SANJI. Beautiful time flashbang. Is consistently keeping Gambit in these very awkward off-angle situations. Another grenade comes out. This is a beautiful retake so far, but they're running out of time. They need to get on this bomb, and they have to hope that Shiro doesn't somehow deny them, which he won't. VP...
He just wants the space.
He's by large alone, though.
Oh. Jame, the backup. nafany definitely wanted to get that kill there. YEKINDAR, the communication should have come through. In the same spot, Hobbit is taken out. YEKINDAR's low, though.
Low with 2-player advantage has been finalized on the fence. Not necessarily an angle you'd expect, and maybe that's what he was trying to play into. Anticipating there'd still be Molotovs and HEs that could be tossed towards him. Jame, 2 remaining, interz and Shiro. Now would be a great time for Shiro to show us what he's got. Never in doubt this guy's capabilities, but it has been an awful, woeful vertigo, and that will continue going forward. interz 1v4, had a pistol last time around. Now he's got the AK, but he gets dinked through the smoke, and that should be the round.
Doing work. Oh, he's gonna see the toes.
Oh! Preemptively sprays that side of the smoke as well. That's outrageous. He may even survive to live to tell the tale, or perhaps not. But the grenade from the grave claims onto nafany. And YEKINDAR, who had a very rough train, has certainly started to put the kills together now. Grenade banking off the wall. It's looking like VP will end this half having strung together. It's a good flash. That angle, the dirty angle that Hobbit has been nullified, but he still puts the bullet in the smoke, and nafany desperately wants to deal with YEKINDAR, but he doesn't know if that right-hand side has a T waiting. And so he's playing this one very patiently. He wants the guaranteed headshot comes out, and that's why he was playing patiently, because Jame had him on the cross. qikert in a 1-on-4 can put down the first bullet, tries to defend the bomb site, but Gambit are just too good. They're too fast and they're too quick on the trigger. Their pistols have typically been indoor, but not necessarily the most aggressive on the planet. 30 seconds, and because of the T's have taken their sweet time, that rotation that initially came in has now gone away. I'm not sure why nafany shot. Maybe his mouse hit his keyboard. Don't quite understand what happened there, but it gave his position away. And in such an important round, such an important moment, 15 seconds to go, Incendiary will be planted down on the site. This could be a bit of a nightmare for the T's. SANJI has to plant outside in the open. And
that was definitely a blunder. You could see in the movements from Shiro, he couldn't believe it either, but this is about to be a peekaboo. He's good for the one. They're actually going to go for this retake, Vince. They're not stopping. The bomb is smoked off right now. Shiro's got the angle. A lot of damage has been done, but it's a little too late. Axel will find one, and VP are just booking it out of there. Sweaty position.
Does it get checked though? 20 seconds. nafany just pushes straight out, but he's taken the damage away and the emphasis and the focus away from Hobbit, but it's only one. Shiro, this is really where we need to see him come alive, especially as Jame has now been found out. 8 seconds. There's the bomb drop. That should be because VP are checking these angles, but I wonder at what point VP significantly increase the pace and try and steamroll over. Now, if nafany goes unchecked, this could be the ace in the hole. Hobbit comes out with swinging with 2, and nafany's there for the other. It's nafany that loses his life, but that'll be a worthwhile trade as long as they can lock it. A bit of momentum. It is snapping into position once more.
Aggression from YEKINDAR. They're so blind though. nafany finds the first, but YEKINDAR's already spaced past him. SANJI's good for it. Oh, everywhere. YEKINDAR looks away at the wrong time, and that's Gambit just dominating towards this A ramp. Oh, I thought there was an opportunity for YEKINDAR there. Even has an AWP. And it's all tied up here, Vince.
All tied up. Neck and neck weapons and grenades put down range into good angles to force away Gambit.
Axel has been doing work towards this B. He finds the one, is able to fall back. That's all he needs to do. Backup should be on the way. He even has a smoke. Buster is so blind, unable to find the trade. And whoa, Axel feeling confident, even going for more. This might be a mistake. Oh, that's a good shot onto Buster though. Gambit are feeling confident, Vince. They're feeling confident. Axel, he knows he has the edge right now towards this B. I can't believe he's even going for more. This is craziness. He dies to Buster. It's a 1 versus 3. And if we take a look at Gambit's money, it's not in the best shape, actually. Either way, they'll be fine. They are hunting hard. They don't want to let go. Buster, find Gambit.
It's just so saying the Giants of VP seem like they've awoken from their slumber. When they've lost ramp very early on, and they have to draw in a few more extra players from B.
The timing with this mid-hit, Jame ready, but oh, YEKINDAR going down. That's going to make things even more difficult, but this B split, it's in action. SANJI goes down, Shiro's good for it. Jame might get this trade. And that smoke is going to push Shiro off the angle. Ooh, Jame going for more.
It might be aggression, but he's taking away Hobbit. He falls to 67. Still time, though, on the clock. Still kit, still flashes. But these smokes have been a real pain in the backside. And I wonder if Gambit have already given this one up. They're going in a little bit late, but it's too little too late. Hobbit goes out swinging. He gets one, but traded back. And tomorrow, Shiro has definitely come alive. He had a pretty woeful first half. think he was 4 and 13 at one point, so he's really stepped it up. Exile stuck behind the back pillars. Teammates dying around him. Molotov will force him out of position, and down he goes. They need interz to have a lot of impact now with his M4. He needs to get kills. There's a couple stopping targets. There's 1 second. The bomb's been dropped down. interz may have single-handedly put this round back in the palm of Gambit. And now Hobbit, who has been consistently a monster, an absolute nemesis of VP, goes in, but he gets taken out courtesy of Jame. The smoke betrays him. interz still alive, still up close, still taking this personally. He wants to try and carve a path through to another round, goes for the spray, picks up more, and there's a 4th on top of it. YEKINDAR's the last man standing with 5 HP. And he's
The hour showing up, we talked about it. I think he had 2 kills for like the majority of this game. Hardly finding any action.
and choking in the smoke of ramp. This is where grenades can be that little bit more deadly. YEKINDAR goes out for the white swing, taking damage, tosses in a grenade. Hobbit's fully bit down on this one though. Here's a trap being sprung against the CTs or for them. Well, right now it's against them. They've lost 2. SANJI and Jame have both come through quickly with frags. Shiro, though, on the flick, getting 1. And he's not fully getting pressed down either from side because the Molotov was in position. He's keeping the boxes. Has Buster done enough to get in the minds of the CTs, to divide and conquer them? A 2v1 could easily turn into 2 separate 1v1s. There's the spray. Does he anticipate Exile to be up on ramp? Now he's definitely heard him. That's put him into a great position now, Buster. Already 2 kills in this round. Tension right now on both these teams. So much on the line.
Boost come through for Gambit. They haven't
Had the drop on YEKINDAR and everything. Take nothing away from YEKINDAR. He just spun around and took his head off instantly. Very impressive return. But now that smokes are being put down. Oh, that's a big kill from Hobbit. Taking down Buster, but also softening up SANJI. Bomb still traverses across to the site. Will start to get planted in the next few moments from qikert. There's not really anything they can do about this. They don't have any high ordnance. They don't have any incendiaries, and qikert comes through with 2. But our Hobbit's gone back in again. A 2-on-2 falls upon us. They do have a kit for interz, tickling the bomb, trying to draw out the T's. They know one of them's on sandbags, and even though Hobbit takes the head of Jame, it's the FAMAS. So it's not the instant outright frag. And now interz is taking this opportunity to get round the side. He knows one of the players is sandbags. He's suppressed down Jame, but no idea about the last player. He's got a smoke. He can put that down on the site, and he may have to stick the bomb. They've put a lot of their early manpower over on the B side of the map, with nafany basically sticking on A alone. Playing aggressive to get some early information. Down comes Exile. He wasn't far off. MP9 right behind him. You could see what VP had to deal with, but the spray wasn't quite on point, and they've punished Gambit severely. 40 seconds left.
desperation pop flash plays coming out. Hobbit's FAMAS again doing work. It is down to a 3v3. Shiro has that deagle and he's good for the initial shot. He does get traded out. Hobbit still alive though. Bomb will get planted.
nafany not far off. Almost like they're setting up for a retake as opposed to anything else. He's just going to back away on catwalk. Oh, it's a nice tap though. That'll do nicely for retake potential and possibilities. 2 flashes and a kit still in play. And now a post plant falls upon them. No smokes, no flashes, and no HP for Exile. This plant is proving to be costly. They have good post-plant positions, though, from interz, who's up close on the kitchen, but he decides to go aggressive. And that aggression will at least yield him 1 kill, but they needed more than 1, especially now as his teammates are being killed around him, leaving Shiro 1 on 4. He's already taken the head of SANJI, not too far off on the second. He'll be feeling disappointed, and Buster picks up a beautiful 4K. Keep in mind, it was Buster that was the only B defender, and it's gone full circle with him getting the last frag.
James going for the peak. He's hunting. Oh, what? That double scope was a fail. qikert does get the trade, and Buster's there as well, though.
Middle would just get completely crushed. Exile now, though, looking to try and get his first kill on the board of Mirage, but he gets denied by possible for Gambit at this stage. Even if they do wide swing and deal with the threat of SANJI, there are multiple other CTs here laid in wait. The bomb's been spilled. There may be no more bloodshed that goes the way of VP. And Gambit concede for their third.
They're okay with just giving this up, though. Right now, Buster, he's in ladder room. Oh, good timing. Hobbit caught with his nades out.
That's a rough start.
Buster. I felt like he deserved.
They've gone down 2 players again. I fear the worst. Their start. Again, James' timing is so unlucky. He decides to turn around just as the shadow comes around the corner and he knows that he's about to be pounced on. SANJI, though, at least holds the line with the AUG, and YEKINDAR's been smoked out of position. Not that it really mattered. They planted a little bit shallower towards the palace. SANJI's AUG now opens back up. He knows one of the 2 is on the firebox, but that flash allows him to trade across to the other side of the site. Flash is coming out. SANJI is 8-1. He's been a man on a mission and sprays through the smoke, getting another one, but he goes down. It all comes down to YEKINDAR. He has a bit of utility and he has a kit and he has enough time to make a go of this one. And he has the AK now. He trades up to the AK, pummels the head off, switches back to the AWP, and clutches the round in style.
VP will have a sigh of relief. Gonna be exposed here. Some shots going off. SANJI's under a lot of pressure. It's a B hit. Buster's good for it. He does get traded out though. Wait, they're not aware of SANJI? There he goes. He does get taken down. That's the B bomb site gone here.
You worry a little bit though, Potter. I don't think B hits like that is something that you can really rely on to yield you 5 or 6 rounds come the second half. These are things that you...
Moment, he is lurking through this connector smoke. He goes very forward. He sees Jame. This is his moment. He's good for it. qikert is hiding in the sandwich, biding his time. He gets traded out too, though. There's Gambit, the confident Gambit, completely just taking over this A site. That was instrumental coming out from Axel. I mean, just 14 ADR in this half, but the fact that...
does give them something to play with into the next round. Oh no, SANJI's made some noise and Axel's going to punish him for that, surely. Axel will get the upper hand, the spray around the corner, and SANJI has played himself. SANJI can post up with the UMP. 3 players over here on B, throwing out the smoke. SANJI snaps into the head of Axel, and that smoke not only allows him to relocate with complete ease and safety, but it'll make Gambit think twice about exploding outside of the B ramp side. And I mean, Shiro gives it a try and he just gets destroyed. Virtus.pro, after losing 3 in a row, pretty straightforward rounds on Gambit, nearly get this one tied up flawlessly. They only lose qikert in the process. Jame will be tested, will be pressured. So far he's passed. He needs to keep into a little bit of pressure because he knows the qikert now is basically being dangled on the edge of a fishing rod, but he bites back. He bites back with authority, taking down kills alongside Buster and SANJI. They've held on again and only lose 1 player. I thought that the ace... He has to play very passively now. He can't afford to stay in position on CT side. Flashes are good. YEKINDAR tried to flick across, but nafany was too quick. He pounces on top of interz, flashbang assist. And I think VP already, with their low...
completely bullying YEKINDAR. Could not get involved. A good look coming out from Gambit. Straight from the get-go as well. Nice and decisive.
Gambit has started to have a bit more success over on this side of the map, so why not keep pressuring until VP make the adjustments required? And maybe Jame and his AWP is all that was required in the end. Smoke down to extinguish the Molotov, but Hobbit is taking the initiative, pushing straight down towards jungle. Molotov behind it. He knows this angle will be covered. Spray through the smoke, decapitating through onto Jame, and cuts off any hope at a rotation play through connector for the time being. And Hobbit is still here. He still hears footsteps left and right. So much intel's being gathered, and now Axel can execute off the back of that, forcing the 2 remaining CTs into awkward positions. qikert, though, making the murder hole live up to its name, while Buster gets smacked from range of Axel on connector. And that should be the round falling into place. And again, Gambit getting success over on A site.
Rinse and repeat, Vince. The same exact play coming through. And I cannot believe none of nafany's bullets connected there. Jame had... Gambit, again, looking like they want to do this A pounce. Flash comes through. No one's blind but qikert. A little bit of a whiff. YEKINDAR, though, he's good for it. Buster even answering back, and Here it is. This is the answer VP needed. Buster.
qikert owes YEKINDAR and Buster both a beer after this round because that whiff on ramp.
Through SANJI, the timing wasn't in his favor, but this time he gets the spot, drops the smoke. qikert is blind, but VP, their defenses should hold here. nafany, what the heck happened?
I think he ran into his own Molotov. I think his Molotov finished him off. He was super low. Shiro, though, is still trying to put this back into some realm of possibility. Spray between the two CTs and VP take a 9-5. They're no slouches. They can definitely pull this back.
Absolutely. Buster's been a boss on Pistol 2. That P250 armor in his hand.
But 4K basically alone. Gambit have 2 additional plays. Buster goes out instantly, decapitated by Hobbit that executes him down. And maybe allows them to put their feet into the ground and stand tall and deliver. nafany, Shiro, Axel all chipping in for kills, but now James gonna try and turn it back around. Gambit saying no.
YEKINDAR very aggressive. Gonna start the lurk in this smoke. nafany's gotta be real careful, and he gets caught out. YEKINDAR just at the edge of that smoke.
Ebbing back over onto that side of the map to go retrieve it. Axel, the timing. Oh, YEKINDAR still spins around and takes his head off. I thought to press outside of Murder Hole. This gives them so many avenues back onto the site. However, he gift wraps his life across the Hobbit, who will now spring into action via CT boxes, but he is all alone. His teammates are over on B. He's had a great best of 3 series. This would be the cherry on top if he could somehow steer this away from the rock. Somehow save this round. Try to deny the bomb plant, but instead it's his life that's deemed forfeit.
Find their way back into the round, but VP, they do make it work. That spray coming in from Hobbit, not connecting at all.
YEKINDAR still perched at the top of middle. So they're really splitting across Gambit and splitting the head of nafany clear open. VP in pole position again to put down the pain, to put down the misery. And the spray on the back actually not good enough to yield the frag. Costs them dearly with Shiro doubling up.
They know where Shiro is. They're spamming him, but he's good for it. Shiro is popping off right now, Vince. He does get taken down by YEKINDAR eventually. They know.
If Hobbit is still up in Palace, they've isolated this into effectively a 1v2 if Hobbit peaks. That's why he's not bothering. He's keeping our play off the back of, but it's down to whether YEKINDAR can thread a couple of headshots. There's the first. Perfect crosshair placement, but Axel on the approach gets him done. Hobbit jumping. Mid-air gets suppressed by Jame, and I don't think Axel can get this done. The time is going to be so low, even if he can get across to the site, he's got no room for error. He's put the smoke down. Jame is spraying all around the ball. Maybe he can get it. Gambit get the defuse and take Jame down in the process. Insult to in. As are these two teams still standing up against each other. And you know, if Gambit do come back into this matchup and they do end up being victorious, you go back to that moment. You go back to where VP let it slip, and maybe that was the integral point, but the fulcrum point perhaps not quite finding its way in Gambit's hands because they are being forced out of position even while fully flashed. nafany takes down YEKINDAR. The post plant comes into effect though. Good smokes have been dispersed, and on top of him, the round has gone the way of VP. That much is guaranteed. But will he survive? nafany's making... We're still so far ahead of them. Their economy's on the precipice of complete collapse, complete turmoil, but Axel doesn't care about that. His M4's going to do the talking for him. Meanwhile, though, VP are pushing the envelope. They're pushing the aggression down on B. Axel now turns his attention via catwalk onto SANJI. He's picked up 2. He's done his job. He needs the rest of his team now to follow suit. 2 of them have already rotated into position on site, but James AWP comes good and secures the frag onto interz. nafany making moves, just narrowly misses out the timing window for the opportunity of the frag, but they pull off the bomb. As adrenaline surging, spiking, knowing that grand finals on the line, a chance to defend their title. They won November. You have a chance of battling straight back, but it's a 1-for-1 trade. Both teams' economy hangs by the thinnest of threads. They know this could turn into a 2-for-1 round. Hobbit with the MP9 spray comes out second best against qikert's AK-47. And the push will be forthcoming on A. Shiro second guesses himself. He goes away from CT boxes, which mounts all the pressure on interz. And now Shiro's too late. He can't deny the plant. He can't really deny any of these lives either. He's taking his shot, and he's punished by Buster on the wide swing. And Gambit's
Aggression coming out from nafany. He was good for it last time, waiting for that flash. No one's blind though. SANJI punishes him for it. He eats a little bit of a nade, but not really. He'll take that. He'll take that all day.
Little battle scar you can show off later on. And hold the phone for a second. They could be walking into the trap of interz. He's got the off angle for connector. The bomb's been dropped down. And VP may be a little bit too slow. They had the player in ramp, but they did nothing with him, and now Shiro can crack off a couple of shots. He's doing damage. interz still doing damage as well, and Hobbit shows his hand in sandwich. qikert needs the clutch of 1v3. Spins around for 2, but he's been tagged down to 7 HP. He has enough time to fake the bomb and try and draw Shiro out into the open, but Shiro's having none of it. Shiro stays in position. qikert goes for the full plant. Shiro goes for the peek and takes him with the USP.
But again, full investments for both squads. Money is low. SANJI finds a nafany looking the wrong way. There's another member trying to force the issue. He is able to get the trade. Axel does work. That's
to his name. And Jame might be able to go into too overextended position and die, but take Shiro. What am I witnessing here, partner? I can't believe it.
That was almost wild. Jame almost got baited into that shot Shiro needed to make that one land. Hobbit, also, the jig is up. He gets caught out. This round is falling apart for Gambit. What looked like what could have been incredible. Jame letting something slip by like that.
Stumbling with the AWP, it would be a chance back into the round. interz does deal with the threat of Buster, and Incendiary will at least keep that secondary player at bay. Maybe he can trade up the AK for the end of the round, but this will be Virtus.pro with 5 match points, 5 grand final points, with Saw waiting to face off against them tomorrow in the best of... Some damage done, all the chips on the table. Gambit going all in. nafany has gone in for a frag, but gets traded out towards connector with 3 players. nafany is here in a different angle they've not really used too many times. It's a one and done. That may not be good enough for Gambit. In an awkward position, Hobbit's been spotted. He doesn't have to repeat just yet. Buster trying to bodyguard. qikert successfully fends off Shiro, who is nosing around at CT boxes. Hobbit puts the bullet into the head of the CZ round the corner. And now interz is the last man standing. The last hope. The last safeguard that Gambit can really rally behind. And he has Buster and Jame to fend off against. They're in good post-plant positions. He has a kit but no smoke and no flashes to really work off. And Jame puts him out of